To become a champion gymnast, you have to perform in 4 events. The uneven parallel bars, as demonstrated by Olympic winner Nadia Comaneci. The balance beam, shown here under the nimble feet of Olga Korbut. The floor exercise, with our own Olympian Cathy Rigby. Cathy will be back to explain the fine points of all 4 events, including this final of the 4, vaulting, as performed here by the top Soviet gymnast, Nellie Kim. There are 4 events that make up gymnastics. 4 separate skills and talents, each borrowing from the other to achieve grace, rhythm, balance, and easy movement.
Some routines look amazing, almost impossible. You say, I can't do that. The bionic teeny bopper can't even do that. Take a closer look and you'll discover the whole movement is really made up of a series of steps to follow. Smaller positions and movements to be put together to create the whole design, the whole routine, like in knitting or macrame. A series of smaller designs joined together to make the whole piece. Let's unravel this whole design and take a careful look at the basic movements that make up the whole form called gymnastics. You'll have a chance to see up close and in slow motion these basic movements and have a chance to study them. But there's more to gymnastics than just studying. That's the easy part. The real work is practice, teaching your whole body a new language of movement and learning that language by doing it over and over again. To do this, you must develop muscles for strength and flexibility. By following these exercises, you'll be able to transform yourself into a piece of bubble gum with muscles. To be the best at something, it takes hard work, practice, and dedication. More and more girls are discovering the art of gymnastics and finding that gymnastics is something pretty special. You too can make that discovery. With all the study and practice, the life of a gymnast might seem pretty lonely. Not at all. Your team and your coach are there to offer help and direction. And to give your spirits a boost. As a gymnast, you're part of something special. Gymnastics does have one thing in common with other sports. You must warm up before you begin. Never do any sport before warming up first. Little by little, stretch and loosen the muscles. This gives them a chance to get ready for the activity you'll be doing. The human body and mind hold many secrets, secrets that can be pretty hard to figure out. And the way the body and the mind work together is sometimes really mysterious. Some kids can learn some things with no sweat at all. Other things seem like a puzzle that you'll never figure out. What's easy for some is difficult for others, and vice versa. One way of learning a movement is to make a game of it. You tell yourself, I'm going to do it over and over until I can do it right, 20 times in a row. Use a paper and a pencil to keep score. Now, even though you might not do it exactly perfect all 20 times, you'll find yourself making fewer mistakes each time you practice. At first, any new move seems scary. It's like standing at the top of a ski jump, looking down. But in gymnastics, your coach is there for a reason. He won't let you try a movement until he knows you're ready and able to do it safely. One good rule to remember, whatever move you're trying, don't stop in the middle of it. Stopping short could get you hurt. You must go through the whole move. Just like the ski jumper has to go through the whole ride, there's no way to slam on the brakes halfway down. So complete the entire move. Chances are much better you'll do it right. And if you do blow it, your coach is right there to help. When things do seem hardest, that's when you have to hang in there and just try a little bit harder. That's even true with the best. Stopping in the middle of a move is an absolute no. It makes it harder for your coach to help you. When you decide you're ready to go, go all the way. All of this practice gives you one special thing, confidence.
A good example to start with is the vault. Of the 4 events, the vault might look the easiest because it seems to happen so quickly. But to vault with championship form like Nellie Kim, each small part that makes up the whole vault has to be studied and done correctly. Let's leave Olympic competition for the moment and take a closer look at the vault and Cathy Rigby.
There are several different ways to vault over the horse. This is just one of the very first basics that you learn. In this particular exercise, you learn how to punch. You'll see after the run that the knee comes up just slightly. You don't want to get that knee too high, just barely up. Your feet then come together, and your punch, you bend slightly, and then they extend to the fullest position, your toes pointed, and then you could just continue the roll. Here it is again. You know, you can almost pretend that you're jumping over a wheelbarrow. You want to get as much extension, as much height as you can, stretch your arms out, and at this time, tuck your head under, bend your arms, and almost roll like you have a back like a turtle. Grab your knees and stand. Let's do the same exercise now using the beat board and the vaulting horse. You'll find the same exercise or basics apply here as on the floor. You come in low, your hurdle is very low. You hit the middle of that beat board, as you'll see here, right in the middle, and then you extend. On this particular picture, don't try to over-punch the board. Don't bring that knee up too high. From here, you extend, and you'll notice that your body is almost straight. You reach as far over that horse as possible. When you reach the mat, tuck that head under and stand. Just in case you missed anything, let's watch this from another angle. The first vault that you will do with your hands on the horse itself is called the squat vault. On your run, make sure it's as fast as possible, but controlled. Your approach is the same as on the floor. Low, then you extend your body. At this point, you're going to reach your hands to the horse, and your focal point at this time is right in the middle, not over. When your hands reach the horse, the tendency is to want to bend your elbows. Don't do it. Keep those arms straight, take the shock in your shoulders. Pull your knees into your chest, and keep those shoulders and hands in line. Don't let them get over the horse. Pull your knees in, and at this point you should be extending your legs forward. Come down in almost a sitting position, take that shock in the knees, and from there, stand. Let's take another look at it in slow motion. Remember, take the shock in your shoulders. You'll notice in this picture that your knees and feet are together and that your hands are shoulder width apart. The vault that you will see now is called the straddle vault. You'll notice that the straddle vault approach is very much the same as the squat vault. Low, then you extend your body. At this point, you're going to reach your hands to the horse. When your hips reach their highest point, this is when you straddle. Rather than your legs coming through in a squat position, they're going to go around your hands. From here, you punch off the horse, extend your body upwards, land in that bent position. Once again, you'll see your hips are at the highest point here. They straddle. Your arms and shoulders are in a straight line. You start bringing your chest and hips upward, and then you extend your feet forward and land in that squat position. A low on flight, extension, punch with straight arms, straddle, and extend. A very important point to remember is you want to get off that horse as soon as possible with those hands. Think of it as a hot plate. If you stay on too long, you get burnt. The landing or the dismount from the horse is just as important as the other parts of the vault. This is an exercise that can help you not move those feet when you land. Notice that your shoulders, your knees, and your toes are all in a straight line. Your hips are slightly behind. Everything should be tight at this point. Shoulders, knees, thighs, calves, everything.
The second of the required exercises in Olympic gymnastics, the floor exercise. Little Nellie Kim, making the mat look bigger than it actually is, 40 feet square. And it's within that square you must stay to complete your exercise. Not just staying in one place, but using all parts of the mat. The floor exercise requires your invention and your imagination, because it's your personality that comes through. No two floor exercises are alike, because no two people are alike.
We'll begin with a simple floor exercise using some of the basic moves. From this you can make up your own routine, mixing tumbling runs and dance, remembering that all the moves must flow together. Before you even begin your moves, your posture at the start has to show you have confidence. You're at attention, stomach in, chest out, and legs tight. The first movement that we'll see is called a split leap. Be sure to make your run graceful. And every time you pick that foot off the ground, point your toe. From here, you split both legs in the air, almost to where you're in a flat position. You land on a bent leg, just slightly bent. From here, you kick one leg up in a straight position, toes pointed, arms are reaching forward and upward. From here, your legs come together, pointed toes again, and then you switch, landing in a bent leg position. One leg up, body in still a stretched position. From here, you reach to the ground, bringing your shoulders down and your leg up at the same time, stretching forward. At this point, you tuck that head right under, round your back, bring one leg up at a time, stand, and from this point, you're flowing right into the next movement, which is a running front walkover. Both hands come together on the floor, one leg at a time off the floor, and the body is in a straight position from your feet to your hands. At that point, you push off your arms and reach for the ground with your first foot, noticing that the body is pushing up and the leg forward. Let's look once again at that push from the shoulders. Both hands come together, and you watch that they take the shock in the shoulders, and your fingertips are the last thing that leaves the floor. From this position, you go into a pose with your legs together, slightly bent, and here you want to try to fit your own personality into it. A little smile always helps. The next move is called a round-off. It starts your momentum going backwards for any tumbling that you might want to do. On this, you spring your hands down together, legs together at the top, make a half turn, and pike down. Now, it's important to remember that your legs should come together at the top as soon as possible. Don't let them stay apart too long, or until they reach the floor. You should get as much spring out of this round-off as possible. Notice that you land in almost a pike position, toes on the floor. You shouldn't land flat-footed. You stretch the body upward. And at this point, we're going into a back roll. Stay in a tuck position, and at the top of your back roll, your feet are going to shoot right to the ceiling, and at the same time, you're going to push your arms to a straight position. Straddle your legs, and come up in a straight line, or almost an arched body, and finish the move in a lunge position, front leg bent, back leg straight, arms to the side. Here's the same routine shown at normal speed, flowing together without any interruptions.
One of the most exciting exercises to watch, and certainly one of the most thrilling to be able to do, is the gymnastic event called the uneven parallel bars, done to complete perfection at the Olympics by Nadia Comaneci. As free and graceful as the event looks, it requires training for strength and flexibility, gradually building up the muscles in the legs, arms, and stomach. Cathy can explain a few exercises to help with this development.
The coach or partner assisting here is not there to help or to boost, but more to act as an anchor to keep you from swinging. The first move is a leg lift. It helps you develop those stomach muscles. The next move is what we call a chin-up. And on the last move, chest to bar, you pull your head back, hips forward, and legs together. Arms are straight. Let's go through a basic bar routine first, and then go through it step by step. The most important individual move that you can learn on the uneven bars is a glide kip. No matter how advanced you are in gymnastics, you use this throughout your routine. When you jump, your hips go straight up and your arms are extended, not bent. You can see that your hips and your legs are in a straight position, slightly behind the shoulders. You straddle from this position, continuing to glide. Notice your arms are straight at all times. You stretch the body completely out, bringing your legs together. Notice again, arms are straight. Start bringing your legs back to the bar, and it's almost like pulling on a pair of pants. You want the bar to come past your ankles, your knees, and right to your hips. Keeping your arms straight throughout the entire glide kip can't be emphasized too much. From this pike position out of the kip, we'll go into what's called a cast back hip circle. Your shoulders are slightly over the bar, and from this point you start whipping your legs backward and up, shoulders over the bar, hands with thumbs around the bar, pulling your hips into the bar, shoulders back, body is in almost a straight position. And from here, you just pike around the bar. And arch up. Once again, we go into another cast from the pike position. Shoulders over the bar, and at this point, we're doing a single leg shoot-through. Knees to the chest, toe is pointed. You need to get enough height from your hips to get that leg through. At this point, we change our hands and do a front mill circle. Now you want to extend as high as possible on that lower leg. Front leg is extended forward. Now you're starting to move forward. Bar stays close to the body. And at this point, your eye contact is to that upper bar. And you start reaching for it with straight arms. Now the left leg comes over. Notice the form at all times, legs straight, toes pointed. At this point, we're going to do what's called a pullover to the high bar. Kick one leg at a time, feet come together, bar to the hips. Hands change position to where they come right on top of the bar. And from here, we do another cast. As you can see, this is a basic move used throughout the entire routine. Shoulders slightly over the bar. And rather than pull our hips into the bar this time, we're going to extend our shoulders outward, hips and body in almost a straight line, slightly arched. And you'll notice that there is no pike coming into the lower bar for this cast back hip circle. When your hips reach the bar, let the momentum carry you around. You don't want to hit in a pike position, yet you don't want to be too arched either. Your hands will let go automatically. If your body is tight, you'll go around the bar very smoothly. If you're not, you tend to bounce. At this point, you start opening up or arching your back to slow you down. At this point, we're going into yet another cast. This time, your shoulders way over the bar, forward. Hips are as high as possible. Now you want to put your toes on the bar, not your heels. Bring your hands in slightly, and the momentum will carry you around the bar. Force those feet on the bar, pull with the arms. Keep them on as long as possible, and then at the last minute, release your feet, bringing them together in a stretched arch position, and land once again in almost a sitting position. This will give you the control. Let's take one last look at this exercise. Always remember extension, good form. Pulling with straight arms. Tight body. High lift. Knee in close. Forward extension. Stretch for that bar. Toes pointed at all times. Hips to the bar, legs together. As high a cast as possible. Smooth and flowing cast. Hips into the bar. Bar tight to the body. Hips high. Pull with your arms. Hold on as long as possible and release. No steps.
Olympian Olga Korbut performs on a piece of wood 16 feet long and 4 inches wide. Not much room for mistakes. This is the balance beam. It requires the most concentration of all the gymnastic events, bringing together skills of dance, acrobatics, tumbling, and flexibility to achieve a graceful flow from one movement to the next. As with the other events, the warm-up exercise is the most important first step. Cathy will show you a few for the balance beam.
For this exercise, you'll need a partner, and you'll also need something to keep your back straight, in this case, the balance beam. Your partner helps you lift your leg as high as possible, keeping your hips down and your legs straight. At this point, you hold it as long as possible. This will help you build up the strength. You make a slight turn, reach for your partner's hand, and she pulls you not off balance, just to keep your back straight. Pushes that leg right behind your head. Hold it again. Make a half turn, and your partner's shoulder goes right to your knee. She pushes on your back and lifts your leg. You should stand up as straight as possible in this exercise. At this point, you should try to hold that leg up as long as possible. Here's a preview look at a basic balance beam routine before we start picking it apart. To begin the mount, place both hands on the balance beam. Jump to a straddle position. Feet are slightly higher than the hips. Also, back is straight, shoulders down, head in. Make a half turn, and when you're sitting on the beam, bring your arms off and into an arched pose. Notice the toe point, the legs straight, body fully extended. From here, you bring your legs up as high as possible, and you're getting ready for what is known as a whip-up. There's a lot of distance between your hands and your hips. At the highest point, pull your knees in. Keep your body in a straight position, your back straight, your head up. Pretend there's a string attached to your head pulling you up during the turn, and continuing in a turn with that straight back, going into a forward roll. And in this forward roll, you stretch your arms forward, keeping everything in a straight line, head, back, and legs. Tuck your head under, squeezing your elbows to your ears. You want to place that balance beam right down the center of your backbone. Feet stay on the beam as long as possible in a straight position. Bend one leg, continue the momentum, and stand. Now we're going into a cartwheel, and it's important that you don't change the speed on this, or the timing. You can almost pretend you're a bicycle spoke, everything going in a straight line and at one rhythm. Come out of it, you should tighten up in your back, your legs, and squeeze the balance beam with your feet, almost like a monkey. Focus your attention on where your next step is going to be. Also remember, after doing what you consider a difficult move, don't relax. This is when you have the tendency to fall off. The next move is a leap. Notice the feet come into a split position. Arms are helping you up by reaching to the ceiling. You land in a bent position on one leg, back leg straight, and at this point, going into the dismount, which is almost like a cartwheel, a round off the balance beam. Legs come together, and be sure to extend with that last arm. Try thinking this same routine through with me. Legs up, tight. Half turn, head up, stomach in. Tight. Extend. Head up. Whip, shoulders over the beam, high as possible. Pretending there's a string attached to your head, pulling you up, back straight, extend as far as possible, and squeeze, feet together, toes pointed. Keep tight. Soft arms, and stretch. Get yourself ready at this point. Think straight line. Tight when you come out of it. pressing those shoulders. Stomach in. Remember your focus point. Complete split, stretch, bend when you land. Get ready for the dismount, continue to flow it through. And a real solid push off the balance beam.
Yeah, do you get hurt a lot?
Do I get hurt a lot? Did you hurt yourself? Well, I think, you know, you all get the normal amounts of bumps and bruises, right? That you all can show me a bruise that you have somewhere. But I've never really gotten hurt in gymnastics, as long as you think before you do anything. Concentration, right? How many times you get on the balance beam in a competition and you make that move, you know, that's so difficult, the back walk over the back flip, and then suddenly you fall off on a little tiny move that doesn't mean anything. Do you ever do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever get mad at a trick?
Mad at a trick? Why would you get mad at a trick?
Like if you don't want to do it.
You don't want to do it. Oh, it's too hard? You know, when you get out in a competition, you feel like, oh, I'm not ready for this meet, and nothing is going to go right, and I'm going to fall off 20 times on each event. Well, the main thing you have to do when you get out there is you have to learn to present yourself. You have to have confidence. You know, you look at those girls on the beam and you think, God, they're doing all these hard tricks, and I can't possibly compete with them. And then you get up, and then they get up on the beam and they fall 4 or 5 times, and you do your routine fine. So the main thing is to present yourself, be confident, and go for those moves all the way. Don't just get up there and, you know, I'm not ready for this meet and look like this, and your tail between your legs, and you have to be confident, right?
What you began in the school gym could finally bloom here at the Olympics, as it did for these champions. It is not only the competition in gymnastics that's of importance, it's also being part of a team, striving for your own personal goal of perfection, and finally realizing it. There is no way to describe that thrill when your mind and body has done its very best.